Let's talk about downtown redevelopment. The question goes to you, Ann. You made a lot in the primary campaign about Paragary's and the subsidy of that project, but you were on the council when it voted to pay some $9.6 million to help the Barquettes build city center cinemas. Why is that deal any different, and why was that an okay project to subsidize?
That was okay because we needed a major project to bring people downtown. That was the first retail, commercial, entertainment project that we had in the downtown. We had built Weber Point, we built the Charlie Square, we did the ESC building, we started the renovation of the Hotel Stockton, but we needed a single retail, commercial, entertainment project that would actually lure thousands of people to the downtown, and that was it. We determined it was a Cineplex. And the deal, I believe, was a good deal for the Catalyst project that we wanted it to be, that it was key that take place, because from that Catalyst project, the idea was to develop all the area around the Cineplex, the bottom of the Hotel Stockton, all the peripheral blocks around there, was again retail, commercial, entertainment, those kinds of things. So that was the key project. It never went much beyond that in terms of subsidizing other entertainment or commercial businesses. And yes, we spent money in redevelopment because we needed to, but the goal always was you reach a point where then you question the subsidy and the amount of the subsidy, because those Catalyst projects that I just mentioned, including cleaning up the South Shore and the North Shores for private development, those Catalyst projects were going to be the enticements to bring in the private sector dollars. Because private sector dollars is the only thing that is going to bring downtown back. It can't be any more public funds. It's got to be private sector, and we have to provide, we have to get out there and recruit and bring those folks in. The Paragary thing, do you want me to expound on Paragary's just a bit? What I would have done had I been on the council? Yeah. What I would have done is I would have asked the questions. All right, is Paragary's the only restaurant that's interested in this site? Has this particular site, the entirety of it, been offered to other businesses in Stockton? Has there been any RFP put out for businesses within the city to come in and take over spaces within that? I believe the original intent was to develop the Hotel Stockton as a residential facility. The rooftop restaurant is a rooftop restaurant run by a private enterprise. The downstairs floor on the street level was going to be small retail commercial businesses that would be in there serving the people who come to the Cineplex, who live in the Hotel Stockton, who work in downtown. Dry cleaners, coffee shops, boutiques, whatever. That was the original goal. I'm not sure where it all came down to deciding a white tablecloth restaurant was the thing to put there. But had the city wanted to invest $2.5 million or 2.7 or whatever it is at this point, it would seem to me if they're really going to subsidize, they should have subsidized the rent for 10 or 12 small local businesses to establish themselves in that street, in that bottom floor. Give them the rent free for a couple of years, which are the hardest for new business, and then see how that works. And then you would be supporting local business, not someone from out of town who is bringing in a restaurant. Lord knows we have lots of restaurants in Stockton, but where is the support for local small business when you give this kind of a tax subsidy to someone from out of town?
Well, I don't know that we have all that many restaurants, because what I constantly hear is that when there are events, particularly multiple events, that there is still a dearth of restaurants, and that we needed Paragary's. Getting back to the Cineplex, to a certain degree, is still under a subsidy of sorts, at least pending the city's liability. So this is where, when we talk about moving forward with strictly, and now you've been pretty precise here about this is all going to be about private dollars. Well, nobody believes that. Nobody believes that. I don't believe it because it's not true. And you go out and talk to folks. There will continue to be subsidy in the area, in the redevelopment area, if we're going to finish the job. Now, there should be increased private investment, as there was with the Sheraton Hotel, which I understand is going through its own problems, not operationally. It's upside down on its construction loan because of the condos. So the fact is that if the Cineplex tails off, the city is still holding the bag because there are thresholds that have to be met in terms of how many people come down. Now that's all fine and good, but they go on for quite a bit. They're still in effect, and if business falls off at the Cineplex, the city is liable to make them whole, and that's absolutely true. You know, there are some things you just can't explain to everybody's satisfaction. Paragary's is one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of a situation. And you know, in 10 years, we'll probably know if it was the right thing to do or not. I feel like it was the right thing to do. We didn't need 10 little restaurants down there. It begged for a restaurant that was a substantial restaurant and fairly upscale. I never liked the term white tablecloth. That came from the previous council. They actually initially approved an MOU with Paragary's. But the fact of the matter is that you needed somebody with a little corporate footing, you needed somebody with an experience in redevelopment, and Paragary's fit that bill. The Modesto Council had confidence in that, so we moved forward with the deal. The fact is, what do we get out of it? We have a restaurant in downtown Stockton in a critical place. I think that it's important. We have retail expectations in the rest of the building that are not manifesting because of the economy, and in fact Paragary's is suffering because of the economy. So the subsidy is the only thing that's keeping anything in there at all. And the fact is that my opponent would be here hammering me if the place were empty right now, which it probably would be, and I would deserve to be hammered if we had not approved the Paragary's deal. It's just too easy to pretend that we would have crowded that place with a bunch of small restaurants. From what I understand, and you know, the place was shopped around. I don't think they did an RFP. Maybe that would have been the thing to do. That's not how we inherited. They talked to local restaurants. People did not express an interest. So all I know is that sometimes you just move forward and you do what's right. We bollocksed up the first MOU on the Paragary's deal because we didn't have it in writing how much we were going to spend on that building. That's a mistake that I admitted. I was attacked for admitting that mistake in the primary. But we also fixed that mistake. So here you go, another contrast. When I make a mistake, I say I made a mistake. And I was a driving force between bringing that back with concrete numbers so that we didn't just have an open pit of money at the Hotel Stockton. We had serious problems we had to fix, but we needed to know how much we were going to spend. And that I will take full responsibility for.